You ever wondered how these NPCs in GTA walk around the city just like they can see the world around them? When I didn't know anything about game development, I thought every NPC has some kind of code in their brain to see things around them and act accordingly. In AAA games like GTA or Far Cry, developers may be programming such complex behaviors by implementing complex AI systems along with navigation mesh. Here in Unity, we can also achieve such behaviors by using NavMesh. So in this video, I will explain what is NavMesh and I will show you how to quickly set up a simple NavMesh system in Unity. By the end of this video, you will have a capsule character with the ability of finding a path through these 3D objects to the target. So without any further ado, let's jump into the implementation part. Okay, I have created this maze-like structure using simple cubes and stuff. I will leave a link to the project if you are curious. Two things to remember before getting our hands dirty. First one is you need to make the objects static before baking the navmesh, which means any non-moving object should be enabled navigation static or full static to be considered by navmesh, else navmesh will simply avoid that object. You can make everything static through the inspector or you can make it through navigation window. To enable navigation window, go to window, AI and click on navigation. Then you can see a window open near the inspector. Select all the static game objects and go to objects, then tick navigation static. The second thing you need to remember is if you want to make multiple types of agents, for example agents that can walk through water and agents that can't, then you need something called NavMesh surface. This NavMesh surface allows you to switch between agents. Okay, with that said, let's create a working agent. So here in the project, I have the maze I have mentioned earlier, a camera and a directional light, nothing else. First, let's make our maze static. For that, select the parent object of the maze and select navigation static in the inspector. Yes, change children also. Now everything became static. Then go to navigation, bake and hit bake. There you can see a blue tinted area appear on the surface of the maze. But there's a problem. Now top of every maze structure is also walkable. We don't want that. We can make them non-static and avoid them from build. But if we do that, then our agents also can't see them. So to tackle this issue, we have a setting in NavMesh. Just select the structure we want to make non-walkable. Then select object on navigation window. There you can see we have already selected navigation static. There will be a drop down menu called navigation area. Select not walkable in there and hit bake. There you can see our structure is not walkable and also is included in the NavMesh. Now let's create our character. I am creating a simple capsule character with a green pointer above it. To make our character move, we need to add navmeshagent component to the character. So click add component, then type navmeshagent. Leave every settings as default and now we need a script to handle movement. So create a C# script called player movement and open it in Visual Studio. First we need to add using unityengine.ai. Delete the start function, we don't need that right now. Make a serialized field of type navmeshagent, I am calling it navmeshagent, and a transform called target position. This is the position where our agent need to go. Next in update method type navmeshagent.setDestination in bracket type target position.position. Save that, head back to Unity, make an empty game object called target and drag it into the slot of the script. Also drag our navmeshagent component to the slot. Place the target on the map somewhere and hit play. There you can see now our character moves to the target by avoiding obstacles. But still the character is going through the walls sometimes. To remove this problem, we need to increase the agent radius. I'm changing it from 0.4 to 1 and also reducing max slope. Hit bake and play. That issue solved. Cool. Okay, what if we want two types of agents? To make a new agent type, click on agents and click this plus button. I am naming it bot1 and here you can access all the parameters bot1 has. To make our character move using this bot one, we need to make a separate navmesh surface for it. To create that, make an empty game object called navmesh and add navmesh surface as its component. Don't forget to clear the old navmesh baking by going through navigation, bake and clear. But now the navmesh is seeing our player as an obstacle. To fix this, we use layers. Put our player in the player layer and uncheck player in navmesh surface. Choose the agent type as bot 1 and hit bake and hit play. There you can see now our character is moving through the navmesh generated using bot 1 agent type. Cool. Next I will explain some of the settings you should know to completely use the power of navmesh. In the navmesh agent component, we have agent type to select agent, base offset for setting up the distance between collider to the transform pivot point. In steering settings, we have speed for setting up the speed of the agent. Angular speed is for controlling rotation speed. There is acceleration and stopping distance. Stopping distance is for setting up the distance between target point and where should the agent stop. Auto braking is for the agent to slow down when it reaches the destination. You should disable this for behaviors such as patrolling, where the agent should move smoothly between multiple points. Remaining settings are obstacle avoidance and pathfinding. In obstacle avoidance, you can find dimensions of the agent like radius and height. You can set the quality of the obstacle avoidance, but remember that high quality is expensive for the CPU. Priority separates the agent types, which means agents of lower priority will be ignored by the agent when performing avoidance. The value should be in the range of 0 to 99, where lower numbers indicate higher priority. We will discuss pathfinding in the next video where we make offmeshlinks. In the navmesh surface component, there is agent type where we can select the agent we created earlier. You can also open agent settings through agent type. In collect objects, you can define which objects should be selected for baking. All active objects or objects overlapping the bounding volume, or use objects which are children of navmesh game object. Next is include layers. As the name suggests, it defines the layers which should be included in the navmesh. Use geometry allows you to select whether the navmesh system uses render meshes or physics colliders to bake navmesh. And that's it, that's the end of this video. There will be a part 2 of this video where we will discuss offmeshlinks and other features. So subscribe to get notified when I upload that video. As always, like, comment, share and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in my next video.